G'day legends. Today we're going to talk about something very important that you need to do if you are planning to apply for a Colombian long-term visa.
Something that actually everyone who's moving to another country will need to get at some point.
You often won't read about this on blogs, on government websites, or even lawyers won't tell you about this until they have your business. I'm not sure if it's like they don't have the knowledge or they just trick you to get your business. So it's important you know about this and the additional cost that this will add when you're getting your Colombian visa. The thing I'm talking about is very commonly required for visas such as the digital nomad visa, the retirement visa, and the business visa. And what that is apostille of documents. Today, I'm meeting with Rugi from Apostille USA. He's an expert on the issue and he's going to walk us through exactly what apostille is, what instances we'll need them in, and also how to do it. All right, guys, I'm here with Rugi. First, a bit about his background and why he knows so much about apostilling documents.
Hey, thank you for taking time to speak with me today. I'm excited to share this time with you and for your viewers. So just a little bit about me. I am an American, spending a lot of time in Brazil since 2017. And a while ago, I was looking to get my residency visa, and I had to get a bunch of documents. I never heard of the term apostille. It's something you hear at the last second. I'm like, what is this? And I was really trying to find out how to do it. And the companies that existed didn't seem very trustworthy. And there was a lot of, downloading documents, mailing documents, this and that. And I just felt that there could be a better way to do it.
Awesome, man. So for you, like when you were first doing it yourself, you kind of never really even heard of the term apostille. I'm guessing that's many other people watching this video. Also many people who go for a visa in Colombia, they'll look suddenly, be like, oh, what's this apostille? I never saw this on any government website. No lawyer told me about this, but now it's suddenly here, So that can be something that falls through the gaps. Can you please explain in very simple terms, first of all, what is apostille?
Okay, cool. Now this is really, really interesting because, like you said, it's something that actually everyone who's moving, to another country will need to get at some point. So the technical term, what an apostille is, it's a certificate that verifies the authenticity of a document for use in another country. The apostille verifies the signature and seal of a public official on a document, such as a birth certificate or FBI background check, and this apostille is attached to a document to verify its legitimacy. So in layman's terms, what does that mean? What an apostille does is that it verifies that a document is a legit document. So like if someone's moving to Colombia, the Colombian government doesn't know what a legitimate USA birth certificate looks like. So they need an apostille so they can see that it's legitimate use, that's a real document. Everybody needs it, like if you're going to live abroad in another country eventually.
It's so that like people don't falsify documents on Photoshop and whatever type of AI bullshit is out now.
Exactly, and just like considering one thing that's really important, we can take an example like a retirement visa in Colombia. That's something a lot of people do. For Colombia, they need to know that you have enough money to live there, where you're not going to be a burden on the country's resources. You're not going to be, using their hospitals or public goods. That you actually can provide for yourself and benefit to society. So they need to see that you have a certain amount of money coming in. Like a lot of
Sure.
people, their social security benefit or their military pension, but you could just falsify something. They don't know if it's real. They need to know that's real. And also,
Okay.
countries don't want criminals to come in their countries, right? They don't want
Yeah.
someone that has a dodgy past that's done this and that. So they want to see your background check, an official document that that says it steals, that this is real. So they know that they're bringing in people that they want to the country, people that are good citizens and people that can afford to be in their country.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned that for people looking to move to Colombia and get the retirement visa, they need their earnings or social security. They need that actually apostilled. That's one example, and that leads perfectly to the second question that I had. Could you give us maybe the three most common examples of documents for visas that would need to be apostilled?
Okay, so like the first one, like I'll say it's important, is the FBI background check.
Everybody needs that?
Everybody needs that that's for any long-term visa, like a
Okay, so migrant visa.
yeah, migrant visa, sometimes to buy property as well. That's the most
Okay.
important one. And that process, you first need to get the document. That's one thing we want to clear. A lot of people think, they see I need a federal background check apostille. They think that's one thing, but it's a two-step process. The first is to actually obtain the background check, and that you need to get fingerprints, and you need to work with like an FBI channeler. And it's better to do that before you go to Colombia. Do that in the United States, or plan a
Okay.
trip to take it when you go back, because right now they've changed the rules where you can't get your fingerprints for the background check outside of America. That's something that's really important. That the federal background check needs to get done, and then you need to get that apostilled. So the apostilled, so they know that it's legitimate.
Can I ask you a quick question about that?
Yes.
So many viewers might be in Colombia right now, fallen in love with the country and they want to stay there and get a retirement visa. Are you saying that they actually need to fly back to the States to get this FBI check first before coming back?
They've recently changed the rules. When I got my visa in Brazil, I was able to go to the local police station and get my fingerprints and send it to the official FBI channel or partner that works with them. But now they've changed the rule where the channelers cannot accept fingerprints from outside the United States.
Okay, so they have to be in the US to do that.
Technically, they say you can contact the FBI, local FBI office, and maybe they'll do it for you. So you could contact the embassy, but I've heard mixed results that most of the times they won't do it. But they say technically you can. But to get that visa, to any migrant visa, you need to get the FBI fingerprints. So either plan on before you come or plan on a quick trip, because it literally just takes a couple minutes. You just have to go someplace, get your fingerprints, and then they'll send them, process them, and then the next day you'll have it. Like you could literally go to the US for 6 hours and do the process and come back.
Can they book that FBI thing online, or they just go to the station, or the?
They work. There's companies. One company's called Accurate Biometrics. We recommend people use them. So you'd go to their website, and they have like a national fingerprint network, and that's at UPS stores all across the country. So on their website, you would go register. You'd fill out all the information. You give them your zip code, and then they would designate you to a certain location. And once you pay, you get a QR code. And then you go to that specific UPS location, and then they do your fingerprints, and then they process it right there. So it's a pretty simple process. So anywhere you are,
that's a great tip.
So you can pre-plan it. So you could go online, pre-plan it somewhere. Like say Houston Airport, you could find some place within 10 miles of Houston Airport, fly in, get your fingerprints, fly back out, and be in the States for 2 hours if you had to. But that's something that people need to do. Like you can't do it anymore from abroad.
That's a great tip. A lot of people will find that very useful. Thanks for that one. So that was the first one. FBI check is definitely something everyone needs for migrant visas. So that being long-term visas like retirement, maybe investment, marriage, things like that. So for the short-term visas like the student visa and digital nomad visa, that's not needed.
For the nomad visas and other visas, you'll need to prove some type of income. So whether that be like bank statements to get apostilled. For like the retirement visas and digital nomad visas, you'll definitely need some kind of proof of funds. And then also something that people do a lot is if you're going to buy real estate, often you need to get a power of attorney to deal with like a lawyer here, to operate on your behalf. So a lot of times you'll need to get that apostille, the power of attorney, proof that this guy can work on your behalf to engage in buying properties. And sometimes if you're going to get married and you were married before, you have to get a document, divorce certificate. You would need to get that apostilled. And certain countries require like a document that says you've never been married anywhere else.
So those are some of the most important things that need to be apostilled. So now that you see how important it is, let's get a bit more into the process. It seems like every visa that you apply for will need to have something apostilled. At this point, I just want to tell you, beware about this because this is one little trick. Rugi, you probably would have seen this. In Colombia especially, visa lawyers will take you on as a client and say, these are my fees, these are the government fees. And then once you've paid the fees, they'll say, oh, by the way, we need this and this and this and this apostilled, that's another X amount. They won't tell you that before. And obviously when you search these government websites and stuff, a lot of them won't have all that information. So beware of that. That's something in Colombia that will always happens. They tell you the minimum charge, oh, it's just $200 for our service, but they don't tell you all the this and this and this and this and additional stuff, so have to be careful of that.
Definitely. And things, like you said, they can cost more than you want. And with governments like this, there's no forgiveness of anything that doesn't quite fit the standards, yes or no. So whatever their requirements are, they have no flexibility.
What would happen is they wouldn't deny you, but they would say, oh, we need this more, we need these additional documents. But then what could happen, because they only have like a few weeks or something to determine from when you lodge your visa to once they do their final determination. And it gets to that date and you haven't provided all the documents, maybe you're still waiting for something, denied. Then you got to reapply all again and spend the thousands of dollars and whatever. It's better that you're organized from the start what actually you have to do, right, Rugi?
Exactly. And with us, what we do, we offer a free 15-minute consultation, and that helps a lot of people out because you just don't know, like people don't tell you what you need, and like so we can help alleviate a lot of concerns.
So if someone watching this who wants a digital nomad visa, they could call you and say, hey, what do I need? And you could tell them this. We
could tell them what documents they need to have apostilled.
Okay. So with that said, you guys know now what apostiling is. You know the most common instances where you need something apostilled. Let's move to the next part where we actually see what this apostiling is. Could you walk us through the exact process of how someone would apostille documents on your website, Rugi?
Great, I'll do that. So for this case, we'll use an example of somebody in Colombia that needs to show their pension certificate and their FBI background check, and they're going to, in Colombia they only need a digital copy of their documents. So we're gonna do that process, and it's $199 per document to be apostilled, plus shipping and handling, which in this case would be $35 for the digital handling. But if you need shipping, it's $65 domestic, $95 international. You'll get a link that looks like this.
I'm gonna have that link in the description if anyone wants to go there.
Then it'll take you to the place and order, give you simple instructions here. And the most common is the 72-hour service. We're gonna do 2 documents. Then you just drag and drop. So boom. And this is, let's say, pension certificate. Second one, FBI background check. And Colombia. Do digital handling. I know for Colombia, they just need a digital version. And then you just put in your name, phone number, email. The requester, that's me. The custodian, that's me. Same person on the invoice. And then who referred us, so AK Joel. And then accept the terms and conditions.
Yep.
Boom, submit. Within 5 minutes, you'll get an email where you put your payment, a Stripe email where you put your payment information and if you're getting shipping, your shipping address. We'll start immediately bringing the process to order. And then if you do digital shipping option, you'll receive an email within the 72-hour period that has all your documents. So it's really simple, really easy for people. Any questions, we're always there to help them, and they can always, set up a call with us. Jump
on the website, book a free 15-minute call with you just to ask any questions they have, and that's basically it, right?
I've been through this journey. I know what it's like, and I also know how great it is to move to other countries and be able to live a life of your dreams. So we help people in a small way and help accomplish their dreams of living in another country like Colombia. So it's a good feeling.
And if you're looking to get a long-term Colombian visa, I'm guessing you want to move and live here. If that's the case, check out this video here because I have some great tips on things you don't want to forget before you make the big move.